School board elections set to take place across South Dakota in just a few months, including in both of South Dakota's largest communities. One of the organizations that has had an outsized effect on pushing for change on local school boards is Moms for Liberty.
The first chapter of that organization in South Dakota coming out of Pierre, but they have since grown all across the state. Pierre reporter Austin Goss giving us a look at the push that they've made all across South Dakota.
Lagging standardized test scoring, explicit content in schools, and a growing interest in education across the country. It's all helped give rise to Moms for Liberty's growth in South Dakota. Amy Bruner chairs the Minnehaha County chapter, which has grown to over 100 members in just a few months.
When we started Moms for Liberty this last fall, we were looking for a way to come together as parents to talk about issues that impact our children.
The organization was founded in Florida in 2021, largely in response to COVID-related mandates in schools. Now, it has grown to have a presence in at least 44 different states. South Dakota has chapters in Minnehaha, Pennington, and Hughes counties, and they've been picking up momentum. Last week, Governor Kristi Noem signed the organization's candidate pledge to advance policies that strengthen parental decision-making.
Every day, it seems like we have more and more excited families who reach out to us because they want to work together with other families, and they want to work together with the school districts to improve policy and really do what's best for their kids.
Dan Cronin, president of the Pierre School Board, has been on the receiving end of criticism from the Hughes County chapter for about a year now. Moms for Liberty has honed in particularly on Pierre's lacking performance on statewide assessments, which says that roughly half of test takers are not proficient in math and language arts. Now, Cronin faces a Moms for Liberty-backed candidate for re-election.
There's more to school than a test score or a grade on a report card. There's much more to school. So I think you have to look at the bigger picture and not just, for example, a third grade test score given on a day of the year.
And at the same time, the conversation on education amongst conservative organizations and politicians continues.
We have more control over our local politics than we do over any other area of politics. And so it's ironic that the presidential races and even the gubernatorial races get the big news, but the people that actually affect our day-to-day lives are our local officials. And I think school board races are some of the most important elections that are going on in the country today.
I don't know if what we're experiencing now may be a little bit of, boy, if it's happening somewhere else, we don't want it to happen in Pierre, so we're going to get more active. I'm not sure. I don't quite understand all of what might be happening right now. We're not used to that.
In Pierre, Austin Goss, Dakota News Now.